Today, I put it on myself to beat all of my Koopa freerunning times in Mario Odyssey, which might sound easy, but past me used to have top 10,000 and even almost top 1,000 times. How long will it take for me to beat all my times? Well, we'll just have to see. So we'll start with Cap Kingdom's Koopa freerunning, which is pretty simple. But the Koopa path, the path that the Koopas use to get to the finish line, and the optimal path that Mario should take look very similar. The only weird thing that the Koopas do is that at the end, they jump off the bridge and capture this Paragoomba to end things off. It takes so long for them to get to the Paragoomba too, so they end at a time of about 37.41 seconds, while past me got a time of 22.56 seconds using this path, so that's my time to beat. Off the beginning, I already had been doing a little bit of research to find the optimal way to cut time, and I found this out. If you spin pound at the beginning, you can do like a jump, and then spin pound and go onto the gate. Kind of like that. So if you do a good angle, obviously that kind of sucked, you should be able to vector a lot easier. And on top of that, I also found out that it's actually optimal to move your camera up whenever you're diving down. The Paragoomba that's at the end of this bridge only moves when the player can see them, and if you're looking down the entire time, they'll guaranteed be on the left side of the bridge, which is bad since you basically want to be hugging this side of the path the entire time to be optimal. And so, equipped with these strategies, I was able to get a run like this. Yeah, a little bit more like that. A little bit more extreme of an angle. I have my camera up. Let's see if this will beat it. Ooh, that was a good dive as well. That was slow for what? I think it was my rolling. I think my rolling wasn't optimal. It probably also was because I wasn't vectoring very well right there. And I was totally right. After a few more attempts, I started to realize that since I wasn't doing the spin pound to the fence optimally, the beginning part didn't really matter. Okay, I'm gonna stop going for that because I'm just not getting the vector. So I came back to my senses and started jumping off the tower in order to reset less and beat my time quicker. And so I actually got a run like this. This feels good. Hey, we got it! 2242. Let's go! Part of the time I got in Cap Kingdom, I set off to our next kingdom, which is Sand Kingdom. Oh, I forgot about Cascade. We have to do Cascade first. Cascade Kingdom is a lot different than Cap Kingdom in the sense that the Koopa's paths are way different. Since the Koopas just forget that there's a series of cloud platforms here, they go all the way around this cliff, with the only shortcut being this small wall jump to cut off this corner of the path. All in all, it takes the Koopas about 41.75 seconds to end off, while the optimal path Mario should take looks like this. I had a time of 38.75 seconds, so this should be pretty easy. Will I do DSS in Cascade? No, dude. I don't know how to do Cascade DSS at all. Yeah, I might have like just a little bit earlier. The actual optimal path that Mario should be taking for Koopa freerunning in Cascade Kingdom looks a little bit like this. It uses a technique speedrunners have coined Dino Skip Skip, or DSS. It's a technique that barely takes advantage of a small slope on a cliffside so that you could completely overcome it, but it's stupid difficult. In fact, I did an hour straight worth of attempts in another video to try and get it, but didn't see any luck at all. But again, my goal was to simply beat all of my past times, and since my past Cascade Kingdom time already wasn't that great. Yeah, so guys, how's it going? We beat our time! Let's go, baby! 1 minute! I'm kidding, no. I was just looking to get a time that I was proud of afterwards. I eventually cut off a lot of time, getting a 19.78, but I knew there had to be some optimization in my path elsewhere. And then I found it. A video by Buster Doggy doing Cascade's Koopa freerunning without DSS. Oh, what? That looks so ghetto. What Buster Doggy did was walk into Cappy at this specific point along the rock, and used it to normalize his movement to vault off another rock and get onto this platform. With that optimization, he had a 1707, a whole 2.5 seconds off of my record. I tried for a while to learn this, but initially decided to forget it and kept going with my way. I think I'll just make something up while I'm going through, because I don't think 1978 is going to be my fastest time at all. And this actually did work. I got an 18.88, saving a second off my previous record. Like, I could sit here and try and do really cool tech from vaulting, but it looks so strange. You gotta put genuine hours and hours on this, and if I want to upload my next video, I'd rather be alive for that. On my deathbed, I'm like, guys, take the footage that I had for DSS and make it into a bloopers montage. After stream, I found out that the video I was referencing was way outdated. You can save so much more time by rolling down this incline and triple jumping. With this, I would get a 1637, which put me in the top 7,000 runners globally, and so that's actually how I left it off. And so we then actually go to Sand Kingdom, which ends up probably being the simplest route thus far. The Koopas might think that they're clever by using this Jaxi at the beginning, and don't get me wrong, it is a faster way to navigate this kingdom-long path from point A to point B. However, it still takes them about 36.83 seconds to finish, and what they don't know is that there's another way faster route that they can take by using a capture. The wire. This is the optimal path that Mario should take, and by using it, I had a 35.81, which doesn't sound very fast, partly because it isn't. I almost made it, guys. Hold on. 35. Oh, I beat my time. Let's go, baby. 42 seconds. But it was also because I hadn't optimized my path. There's actually two ways that you can optimize the path. The first being jumping out of the wire capture before you get to the end. If you do this, you can direct where you'll go as soon as you're out of the wire, instead of having to turn to face that direction afterwards. Second, spin throws. Since Cappy technically goes faster by using a spin throw than using a regular Cappy throw in home, you're better off roll canceling with a spin throw to get the wire captures than using regular throws. But that's really all the optimization that you could have. The rest of the run basically is just a side scroller where you're going through the wires. And by only using the dive tech, I already had a 29.61, so it already felt like a fast time. But since world record was sub 28, I challenged myself to get a sub 29 at least. It took forever to consistently get down the roll cancel spin throws, where for whatever reason, Cappy never reaches the wire. But after a couple minutes, I had it down, and all the stars aligned for this. A missed PB because I wasn't able to change direction. Especially after grinding for a good while, this felt pretty demoralizing and almost had me give up. It can be really difficult to change direction so quickly, since when you're going through the wire, you have to hold your stick to the left and then instantly go forward before you uncapture and dive. It's something that got me more than a couple of times, so to make it easier, I started using snapshot mode to pause the game and let myself align correctly. So equipped with this, I kept going. I told myself I'd give myself the hour to get a PB or I'd quit. But lucky for me, within 2 minutes, I was able to get this. A sub 29, which is where I happily left it. It puts me in 4800th place in the world, which isn't amazing, but soon enough I'm gonna have to be my almost top 1000 time in Lake Kingdom, but before that we'll go to Wooded. Wooded Kingdom is similar to Cap Kingdom in the sense that the Koopa's paths and the path I'd be taking are very similar. All you really had to do was jump off of this railing, and once you land, go over to the moving platforms over here. Once you're there, you continuously jump to capture this up route, long jump between the gap, and then just roll to the end. I was able to get a time of 23:77, but the Koopas, despite having the same path, get a 39:50, all because they just speedwalk everywhere. Not that I had much room to talk though, since I was just jumping all over the place aimlessly hoping to beat my time. That was until a viewer of mine named Laser joined and helped me with my pathing. You should try triple jumping off the railing, like at the beginning. That's what I was trying to do before, but I was resetting too much here. You gotta roll 2 times. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're so right. I see the vision. I see the vision. Although I wasn't able to see the benefit of this too much, I was soon able to get a 2262 with it. But the true potential lied in Laser's next message, telling me that if I vectored my jump, I could reach this platform instead of where I was previously landing, getting significantly more distance and improving my time. Getting the vector was very tricky, but since I knew I had to do something similar for Lake Kingdom, I tried my best to learn it now and use it as practice for that. A lot of time went into going for this strategy. No, I blocked on the top of the platforms. No, it was so close. But I was eventually able to get this. $21.29, hey! I'm proud of 21, that's chill. That's actually really cool. And so we kept moving, making our way to the infamous Lake Kingdom, which featured my almost top 1000 run. The Koopas in this map go so far around the whole kingdom it's not even funny. Since they don't even think to jump over this wall, they swim through an entire tunnel before making it over to the end after a minute of running, while the time that I got before, a 1797. I ran Koopa freerunning about 3 years ago grinding for this time. There was almost no room for improvement technique wise, I just had to play faster than I did. And by dissecting my previous time, I knew that I could probably dive quicker at the beginning and get a better vector whenever I was jumping off of the edge of this cliffside. So it wasn't 100% impossible. But strangely, even from the beginning, I felt like I was getting my muscle memory back from doing this path. In fact, less than a minute into the stream, I was already getting pretty good pacing to beat the record. Oh, and then you barely are able to get the platform right there. I just didn't vector well enough on the cap bounce. I would like to say that this luck continued right after, but it actually got a lot worse. For whatever reason, despite taking dozens of minutes to sit and try and practice the water pathing, which only consists of a cap throw, bounce, up throw, and then cappy return jump, I was never able to get it consistently in my runs. He's just never there after that. Buddy. I do one cappy bounce. And then he's okay, sure, yeah, But even after all of that, I never stopped going for the PB. Even when I had thought I did my best and ended up being 20 milliseconds slower, I recorded it, found ways that I could improve, and my chat even suggested different ways to get better. Wait, so I guess I'm in front of the right people. How do I actually use snapshot mode like properly to buffer inputs? Do you guys rebind? Because like down on the D-pad just feels so uncomfortable. Remap it? Yeah, I figured. Snapshot button plus B? I see the tech. What's awesome is that snapshot mode would be super useful later, and so I kept on learning different things that I could use to improve my gameplay. I don't get the triple jump ever. I think I'm not getting the triple jump because I'm going too far to the right. Yeah, that's definitely it. Even when things felt inconsistent. Cappy, why? No! Oh, that made me mad. That looked good. I'd keep pushing through. I bonked on there because I went left to try and compensate for that vector because I didn't think it was good. Let's go! Let's go! I'm sorry, I got really excited. Let's go! That's what I'm talking about! 1789! Oh my god! Wait, I have to stop the timer. But of course, Lake Kingdom wasn't nearly the most technical freerunning route I'd take at all. In fact, let's just look at Lost Kingdom. The Koopa path involves a very long path, just like Lake Kingdom, which weirdly enough features one optimal strategy. Normally in this path, you're intended to give these trap beetles cappies so that they can chase after you and blow up the rocks. And for the first set of rocks, that's exactly what the Golden Koopa does. But for the second, they jump around it like we do for the optimal pathing. But at any rate, it still takes them about a minute to get to the end. But the optimal path has been very optimized, with my previous time being a 2740, using a really cool tech called Meme Tree. By making a precise jump off of these trees' leaves, you can barely get enough height to cut off a huge section of the path. The jump isn't too crazy, but if you're trying to do this while minimizing setup time to be optimal, this can be very inconsistent. Luckily for me though, I just got advice on using snapshot mode for my last kingdom to buffer inputs, and so I rebinded my right trigger to down on the D-pad to have a second snapshot mode button, using it to direct Mario frame by frame to get the meme tree setup I needed without wasting time. It only really took me about 10 minutes to get consistently, so once I optimized the pathing for the rest of the route— No! I was trying to go another way. I was able to get a pretty good PB. There we go, that's somewhat okay. 2484! Yippee! And then I'd beat it again 3 minutes later to finalize it as a 2420. And now it's time for some lightning rounds, because the next few Kingdoms Koopa freerunning paths aren't too special. Funny enough, Metro Kingdom actually took me the longest to beat. I was kind of stubborn trying to stick with the world record route to beat my time of 1899, but when the clock hit an hour, I figured I had to have been doing something wrong. I eventually found a route on a wire that was easier to do, and with it, I saved about 60 milliseconds, getting an 1836. Time. An hour, because I was just using the wrong route. Snow Kingdom was really easy. The path that you take to freerun only consisted of rolling on a slope, a little water navigation, and then using this blowhole to make your way to the top. It was so easy that I beat my previous time of 1583 in under a minute of attempts, getting a 1508. And since it took so little, I went back to beat my time a few more times and eventually winded up with a 1502. Seaside Kingdom doesn't have that in-depth of a route. The only thing that looks kind of advanced is at the very beginning, where you have to move your camera before the race starts to get this Cheep Cheep to start swimming. And if you time it right, you can down throw and home in order to capture it. And that's it, because the rest of the route looks like this. It took me 35 minutes, I'm sorry I forgot to put the timer up, but I eventually got a comment that helped me beat my time of 26:47. Can you go up with the purple squid thing to get a slightly better time, like not uncaptured? You right? Yeah. No, yeah, 100% right. Yeah, you so right, Lucas. My bad, OG, my fault. And then we go to Luncheon, ending the lightning rounds because this route is kind of crazy. For the Koopa path, they take a very long route across the entire backside of Luncheon. It takes the Koopas almost a minute to get to the very top and end off the run. The optimized path though? Well, my time was in 1940, which is actually pretty slow if that helps paint the picture. Because instead of the path looking like this, it looks like this. Top runs for this kingdom look pretty insane. The beginning section is probably the most impressive, completely overcoming this huge wall with some precise jumps, especially this quick cap bounce, which is only possible if Mario gets the right distance away from the wall. Too far and Mario will dive over, but too close and Cappy won't stay against the wall. Then, when you get up, throw Cappy against the wall again, intentionally leaving him there for just long enough to get a Cappy return jump for Mario to get enough height to make this gap jump. Mix that with a spin throw to get the fireball capture here, and a spin throw against the wall to boost Cappy up the wall and get the fork, you get an insane time. But again, I was just trying to beat my time of 1940, so I would only have to learn a few things to actually beat my time. But something that I focused on a lot was the beginning section. I found it inconsistent to roll cancel to go over this patch of lava, so to reset a little less, I would long jump over and then pull myself by the end of the torch. I was initially met with a lot of difficulty in normalizing the beginning. I see. But after getting it down, I hit the ground running. The only thing that was difficult was getting Cappy to up throw instead of down throw. No! Up throw, please! I couldn't up throw, that was so sad. But once I got that under control, I got her time of 1780. It was a fine time, one that beat my previous time of 1940. Initially, I was completely okay to end off stream like that, but that was when a viewer of mine named Karuna asked me to beat their time of 1696, and so I ended up taking the challenge. I think to save time, I have to stop hanging on to torch right there, and I just gotta have the grit to just dive up there. With this, I knew that I'd improve my time to get the 1696 as long as I didn't have to wall jump like I did before. And surely enough, after only some minor difficulties, I was able to bring my time down. 1562, hey! That's a good time, I still messed up though. What's funny is that I totally should have been satisfied with my time here, but just as I was about to end stream, way faster. 1548, oh come on dude, let's be so for real bro. You got a 1548, do I have to be that time now? we're just gonna go back and forth, you wanna do that? And so I went to grinding again, in the race to beat Karuna. This took a little longer than I'd like to admit, since I started to grow inconsistent in the route. No Cappy return jump, tragic. But in the end, those inconsistencies actually ended up helping me save time. 14? 14! Let's go! I accidentally did the spin throw to get the capture, that caught me so off guard. This was a really good time for me, and so I left it there. Unfortunately though, this wasn't good enough to beat Karuna, since they were just going crazy after every time I beat my time. So GG's Karuna, thanks for motivating me to improve my time. Cause now we move on to Bowser's Kingdom, the third to last Koopa freerunning kingdom and the one that features the longest Koopa freerunning route in the game. Unlike many other kingdoms in the game, the route basically goes from one side of the kingdom to the other, and with it using wires to get to each island too, it really did feel like a longer Sand Kingdom segment. There are some cuts you can make to the path, but it only really boils down to two important cuts. The beginning and the third island. If you want to do the beginning section optimally, you're required to do a roll cancel off this ledge of the platform and go all the way down while vectoring. Vectors in Koopa freerunning typically give you small boosts in distance to help you out, but in Bowser's Kingdom, it gives you so much distance that it's the difference between landing on this spot way before the bridge and this spot way past the bridge in the same amount of time, making it virtually impossible to be competitive without this vector. The second cut is on the third island, where you make a small jump across this corner. It's nothing too crazy, but the setup is what more often than not cost me the run, since it was such an awkward section to navigate. And even after all of those cuts, I still had a 1 minute 18 second run, so that was my time to beat. Since I knew the vector was important at the beginning, I was picky about getting a good one, which more often than not gave me some pretty funny results of just being slightly off. There we go, that was... This is such a bad vector. Mario, where are you going? Where are you going, bro? Where are you going? And even though I was picky about the vectors, the runs I got good vectors on ended up dying anyway because I wasn't practicing the rest of it. Oh no. No, I missed the jump. I knew I missed the jump immediately whenever I hit the wall. And so, in the spirit of trying to learn the whole route, I would do a run without resets. This landed me a 115 even, which was alright, but could notably be improved by capturing the wire better, rolling before this wire to be a bit faster, and diving a bit quicker after uncapturing this wire. Knowing that there was a lot of room for improvement, I kept going for a better time. But what's funny is that I never ended up resetting because any of those 3 mistakes I just talked about, but what I'd end up resetting to is this little spiny that went out of position sometimes. I keep on hitting that spike, dude. But after that fiasco, and the Goomba fiasco that followed afterwards, I hit the Goomba? The Goomba where, bro? Are we being for real? I was able to steadily beat my time, once to get a 1462, and another to get a 1456, which is where I left it. Because now we move on to our second to last kingdom, Moon Kingdom, which has a lot flatter of a terrain compared to our last 2 kingdoms. For this map, I'm actually going to show you the optimal path first. The optimal path takes advantage of these rocket flowers to go as fast as possible to the finish line. But the weird thing is that these 2 rocket flowers aren't actually supposed to be there normally. If you walk around Moon Kingdom while not in the Koopa freerunning mode, these rocket flowers aren't there at all, which makes me think that the developers intended this to be the route. It's just strange, because normally I give the Koopas a hard time for not being optimal at all. They take over a minute to get to the end, while my time was a 3961, but how are they supposed to know to get these? Anywho, this path wasn't very complicated. The most difficult things were getting used to the speed that the flower gave me and the zero gravity, which were physics unlike any other kingdom. It was especially important to get used to these physics because of this section specifically, which requires you to get a good line from the second to the third rocket flower. To put it in a nutshell, rocket flowers give you a boost for exactly 4 seconds each. Kind of. If you collect them separately, they do give you a boost for 4 seconds each, but if you collect a rocket flower while you have another one activated, the first flower's timer gets reset and you now have 8 seconds of boost, effectively giving you 3 flowers of boost. In Moon Kingdom, this is the difference between boosting till the end of this bridge and boosting till the end of the cliffside. And the worst part, the flower you use to get to the third flower almost runs out before you get to it, so getting a good line is crucial. At the beginning, I was able to get the rocket flowers just fine, but for whatever reason couldn't jump up this small lip of wall. Oh, do I have to vault? I think I have to vault in order to get up there. I don't think I could do that with a normal jump. Once I realized it required a vault, it took some getting used to, but I was able to get a small PB of 3863. We'll go for a tiny bit longer to see if I could beat that, because that was 100% slow. And so, once again, I went back to improve this. I made some small adjustments to the beginning, opting to roll off the ledge instead of getting this vector, but what I found to be the main issue was the end, where diving felt incredibly inefficient. In lieu of this, I would start jumping to conserve my momentum, which felt a lot more efficient. After working this out, I got a small PB again of 3726, and then a 3662, which is how I left stream off. But that wasn't my best time. That would only come until... What do you mean 5 minutes ago? Yeah, editing Kojo here. I ended up accidentally PBing while trying to get footage for the vector clip earlier. This clip that you saw here? Yeah, this was the rest of the footage. I got a 3560 unintentionally, which actually puts me in the top 2,000 runners in Moon Kingdom. And so I guess that's actually how I left it off. Finally, we'd make it to our final kingdom, Mushroom Kingdom, which has a very straightforward route. The Koopas almost have the right idea this time around, getting some rocket flowers but going too far to the left of the goal to actually save time. Cause in the end, it nets them a 2366, while my time was a 1324. The optimal path here is basically as close to a straight line as you can get in Koopa freerunning, cause all you get is 2 rocket flowers and a dream. I can't sugarcoat it, I actually beat my time in 6 minutes and hitting a 1321 just after a few attempts. But I had my goals set way higher. Since this was the last kingdom, I wanted a final hurrah. World record in this kingdom was a sub 12, so I wanted to get at least a sub 13. I told myself I'd have the hour, and this is how it went. That's a spin throw. That's a spin throw. That's a spin throw. Please, Mario, we're gonna have problems. I just want the spin throw. I just want to get the beginning. 1316? 1312? Okay, that's way slower. 1328. Man. 1340. After this while, I started to feel like getting a sub 13 was up to RNG. The only thing that you could do to optimize this path was take the tightest curve that you could right here. Again, I'd given myself the hour to do this. 1 hour or I'd quit going for PBs and accept my current time. And at 59 minutes, this happened. $13.08, $13.08, $13.08, $13.08. We're gonna get there. Please, 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 please. One final PB, but not enough. The clock was gonna hit the hour and I wasn't gonna get the sub 13. It's so close, man. I might give myself like 15 more minutes. At 15 more minutes, I might I think my sanity's gonna drop then. It's like a wise woman once said, 99% of gamblers stop before they hit it big. Princess Toadstool. And so I kept going for absolute perfection. Let's go! Let's go! I gotta rewatch that. Hold up, look at this, look at this, look at this. Right here, right here. Ooh! Ooh, I didn't slip off. Oh, that navigation on the side of the hill, bro.